I've never had a mentor or been a protege. That is, if you consider the mentor-protege relationship to be one that's formal, in that the mentor agrees to take you on as a protege and impart his or her wisdom to you. That's just never happened in my life. But if you consider the mentor-protege relationship to be one that develops organically as you work alongside a more experienced person, then I have some experiences to draw on. All of my life I've kind of floated along without any real plan, accidentally bumping into people and opportunities. When I was a senior in high school, my dad advised me to learn how to type so that I would be prepared to enter the workforce when I graduated. Well, I did learn how to type, but I couldn't imagine anything more boring than working in an office. So most of the jobs I worked after high school were either in the restaurant or in retail. One of those retail jobs is where I bumped into my first accidental mentor, Bob Smith. Bob was the regional manager of City of Shoes, which was a chain in the 80s. And he must have seen something in me because he started teaching me things. He taught me about customer service. He taught me how to balance the tills. He taught me about ordering inventory and inventory control. He taught me about scheduling personnel. And it's because of him I got my first job in management. Eventually, he went on to bigger and better things, as did I. But because he took an interest in me, it gave me confidence in my ability to learn things. And it gave me motivation to want to perform well, and not just for bonus money, but out of a sense of pride and accomplishment. And along the road, many other people have taught me many other things, but the next person that stands out in my mind as having an impact on the course of my life was Patsy Sherman. She was the director of my children's preschool. As a young mother, my husband and I decided we didn't want to put our kids into daycare. And so I stayed home during the week and worked nights and weekends when he was home to be able to care for them. Because we had limited resources, I signed up for a co-op preschool. That turned out to be one of the best experiences of my life. Patsy was the kindest, calmest, most fun-loving person I had ever met. And she was purposeful, and she was creative, and she could explain to you the benefit of every activity that she planned. She was so passionate about early childhood education that my heart caught on fire. If your child was exhibiting a behavior, you could go to her and ask her, and she would tell you how to approach things, because there was really nothing she hadn't seen before. She taught us about the importance of child-centered learning and learning through play, and she gave me the opportunity to learn new things also. In addition to working in the classroom and the nursery, I became the purchasing agent for the school, and I sat on the board of directors. If I hadn't had the opportunity to work with Patsy Sherman, I might never have known how much I love being in the educational environment. When my children were old enough to go on to elementary school, I went to work for the school district as a special ed assistant, where I stayed for 11 years. Eventually, Patsy couldn't handle the physical strain of working in the preschool, and she went on to teach parenting classes at Los Medanos College to foster parents, so her legacy continues. No doubt those two people had an impact on the course of my life, but there's one other person who has had a profound effect on the way I see myself, the world, and how I treat other people. His name is Jesus. I'm not a terribly religious person, but I am a follower of Jesus. And of all the important things that he's taught me, the most important one is that we all fall short, and it's okay. God's forgiveness and grace is a gift. You don't have to deserve it. You just accept the gift, be grateful, and move on into the world, trying your best to love other people. Also, unforgiveness. Unforgiveness only hurts you. It gets in the way of your relationships, not only with other people, but with the Almighty. And when you're over here holding a grudge against somebody, they're over here not knowing what you're thinking about at all, and not caring probably. And so it is only you that suffers in that situation, and that's why we forgive other people. And finally, God loves all of his children all the same. That lady in the Escalade that won't let you merge on the freeway, that person in the express lane that has more than 15 items, that guy in the hallway at Bart shooting up, all his children. When I started writing this speech, I had thought that I hadn't had any mentors. Upon further reflection, I see now that I have, and I have a renewed appreciation for them. And that's the beautiful thing about participating in things like the Pathways educational system, because when you stop and you examine your life, you find the things in it that have made it worth living. Madam Toastmaster.